the zero crossing detector. Zero crossing detector. So what will be happen in the zero crossing detector? It is a very important basic question. This is very important question because in the FM demodulation, they may ask whether zero crossing detector or PLL as FM demodulator. Rather than the zero crossing detector, PLL as FM demodulator is very important. Okay. In your IC subject also, you will discuss about, you will get the knowledge about the PLL. Okay. By using IC 741. There also by using operational amplifier, we can perform the demodulation of the FM. Okay. There is a one question that is nothing but write the applications of PLL or write the applications of IC 461. Yeah, applications of operational amplifier. Applications of operational amplifier. In that case, you have to write the applications for operational amplifier is nothing but zero crossing detector or PLL as FM demodulator on a stable multiplier. Like that, you need to write the applications. Okay, right? Now let us see the zero crossing detector. What will be happen inside the zero crossing detector? Means basically we have three parts in the zero crossing detector. Okay, for theoretical purpose, I will explain the block diagram. What will be happen in the limiter? What will be happen in the pulse generator? What will be happen in the integrator? And what is the output of the zero crossing detector? And number of cycles, and F1 is the instantaneous frequency. Actually, it is a Fi instantaneous frequency 1 by 2 delta. Internet connection is unstoppable. Okay. Is it audible? Give me 1 minute. I have a network issue. Right. Can anybody respond? Now it is clear. (409) LE 462 488. Clear. Fine. Thank you. Right. Now let us see the waveforms. After seeing the waveforms, you will get the knowledge about this limiter, pulse generator, and integrator. Basically, what is our requirement to generate a pulses? To generate a pulses, you can use the monostable multivibrator. Also, you will get the same output in the at the end. Okay. Now here you can see this is our FM signal. This is our FM signal. So by using this FM modulated signal, you need to calculate the number of pulses. How many pulses here in the sense means for each and every successful reaching of the zeros, nothing but signal is crossed this DC line, you will get one spike is nothing but the pulse. I will show you what will be happen inside later on. We will discuss. Yes. Here can see. This is what we require the diagram. So basically, what is the received signal means? This is our received signal. This is our received signal. Here you have high frequency, low frequency, combination of high and low frequency. This is the S of T FM signal. So now you can see what will be happened after giving the signal to the limiter, or it can be filtered a limited number of band of signals or limited number of side lobes. It can limit the limited number of side lobes. Basically, we have a number of filter, a number of side lobes are there in the FM signal. If you have a number of signals, means it is not possible to demodulate. Okay, but here by using limiter, we can filter the signal up to certain limited number of pulses, a limited number of cycles, limited number of cycles. After that, we will send the signal into, yeah, here you can see. After that, the limiter limit the certain number of signals, certain number of waves, or certain number of cycles, and then that limited signals can be passed to the pulse generator. And what will be happen inside the pulse generator means it will generate the pulses based upon the zero crossing spikes. Or suppose here it is cross the zero means here at this particular place it generate one spike, or it generates some, or it gives some voltage, or it gives some energy. Okay, here you will get one spike, and here also you will get some other way. Like this, a number of signals we have, a number of spikes we will get. Okay, like this we will get. Here you can see after zero crossing the detection, see here, the pulse generator generate pulses. After that, see here, what will be happen? For each and every successful crossing of the zero levels of the limited signal, you will get the pulses. Here, these are all the time slots for the zero crossing of this particular signal. These are all the time slots. So at this particular time, our signal is such as the zero, and here our signal is crossed the zero. Like this, we will get the spikes. These are all the spikes. After that, what will be happen in the diagram? We don't have the particular block, but basically what is will have happen means the zero crossing detection can be done. After that, we will get some spikes, nothing but some voltage levels. That voltage levels can be given to the rectifier. That can be given to the rectifier, and the negative portion, whatever the negative portion we have, that portion can be rectified, that is off, and then remaining part can be transmitted to the pulse generator. So in the block diagram, what is will be happen means, so in between limiter and pulse generator, we have a we have rectifier. We have rectifier. So based upon the limiter, our zero crossing detector produce the number of time limits or number of times the signal can be crosses zero, and then here we will get the spikes. That spikes can be given to the rectifier, and then we will get the input signal as a rectified signal of the pulse generator. You can see, so after getting this fully rectified signal, the signal can be given to the pulse generator. So as we have already known, what will be happening in the pulse width modulation? What will be happening in the pulse width modulation? So based upon the rectified signal, so after smoothing, what will be happening in the pulse generator means it produces pulses with a different width. It produces pulses with a different width, and remaining story as usually in the PWM demodulation. So based upon the PWM signals, our information can be drawn like this. That is, the low pass filter can generate the spikes or the threshold edges based upon the number of cycles presented in the number of pulses presented in the pulse generator output. So here we have highest amount of pulses means it is positive, and the lowest amount of pulses means it is negative. In PWM also we will see there. So same thing will be happen. The pulse generator generates the pulses based upon the spikes or rectified signal. So after this pulse generated signal can be given to the low pass filter or smoothing filter. So based upon the threshold voltage, it can produce the low pass signal or M of t as a demodulated signal. Later on, we will use some amplifiers, and then we will get the smoothing output of the M of t, whatever the data which we are transmitted from the transmitting end, that can be received at the receiving end. So like this, we have to perform the zero crossing detection in the zero crossing detector. Okay. So like this, we can perform FM demodulation by using zero crossing detector. Okay. Here I have mentioned so a few points, few important points. Okay. So basically what we receive and what will be happen inside means amplitude of a received signal can change. Amplitude of received signal can change. Basically we have a condition. In frequency modulation, the phase and amplitude are constant, frequency can be changed. But what will be happen in the demodulation process, amplitude of the received signal can change, then only we will get the output. Okay. So the limiter and filter is needed to change that particular signal amplitude in the zero crossing detector. Okay, right? That's why here the procedure can produce in the zero crossing detector, it produces some spikes. So the spikes are nothing but based upon the time slots, based upon the frequency slot, we will get different types of spikes. So based upon the different types of spikes, we can get the fully rectified signal, and that can be given to the pulse width demodulator, or that can be given to the detector. We will get the pulse signal, and then finally that signal can be given to the low pass filter. After that, we can give that signal to the amplifier, and then we will get the resultant modulating signal. Okay, right? So this is about the zero crossing detector. Okay, now let us go for the PLL as FM demodulator. Here PLL, that is nothing but phase lock loop. Phase lock loop. So if they may ask the question like this, explain PLL as FM demodulator with modes of operation. With the modes of operation. So if they are asking the question, definitely we require to note down the operation, that is modes of operation of PLL in FM demodulation is a very important question. Okay. So here you can see in the PLL, so the phase lock loop is one of the actual black in a linear system. Basically, it is a linear system. It is useful in communication systems such as radars and satellites and FMs, etc. And we will discuss about the PLL IC 565 in detail. Okay, right. PLL IC 565 in the sense whatever the IC we are using as to design PLL, that is IC 565. IC 565. Right. So PLL and IC 565 in detail means, so PLL as IC 565. You can use PLL as IC 565, and it should be used as to perform the operation as phase lock loop. Basically, what it contains. So in the PLL, that is nothing but phase lock loop, we have three different blocks. We have three different blocks. The first one is the phase detector, and the second one is the low pass filter, and third one is the voltage control oscillator. Voltage control oscillator. Now let us see what will be happen step by step. So what is the phase detector output, and what is the low pass filter output, and what is the voltage control oscillator operation, and then we'll go for the operation of the PLL. What will be happen if the input is there, if the input is rapidly increased, if the input is equal to the output, and what will be the modes of operation in the PLL. Now let us see the diagram of the phase lock loop. Here it is FM demodulator as a PLL. So basically it contains phase detector, low pass filter, the amplifier, and it can be given to the feedback, can be given to the output, can be given to the voltage control oscillator, and we will get the FM demodulation. Now let us see what is phase detector. See here. So basically, based upon the phase detector, basically here we have two inputs to the phase detector. See the diagram clearly. Here we have two inputs. That is, one is FM input, another one is the previously amplified output. That is nothing but voltage control oscillator output. Basically, what is the initial input to the voltage control oscillator means we can apply certain threshold voltage. We can apply certain threshold voltage. That threshold voltage can be given here. The threshold voltage can be given here. Okay. So the threshold voltage can be compared with the FM input. That is nothing but, for suppose if the both the phase and frequency, if the both phases are equal, there is no error at all. So what is the purpose of the phase detector here means, by using phase detector, we can identify the phase difference in between the two signals. The two signals are, one is the an input signal, another one is the output signal which is getting here. Okay, so both signals can be compared each and everything for a particular intervals, time intervals. Here you will get the phase difference as sum or difference. Here the phase difference are sum or difference. Means nothing but, in some cases, if the error is, that is nothing but Fn is greater than F out, we will get the addition operation, that is Fin plus Fn, or in some case Fin less than F out, we will get the subtraction, that is nothing but two different types of outputs here if the phase detector can use. That is nothing but, see here, it produces a DC voltage. Yes, right. Thank you. It produces a DC voltage which is proportional to the phase difference between the input signal having frequency of F in and the feedback frequency, that is nothing but the F out. Okay, F in and F out can be compared in the phase detector. Here you can see if the phase detector is a multiplier and it produces two frequency components and its output sum of the two frequencies, that is F in and F out, and difference of the two frequencies, that is F in and F out. Okay, add or subtraction, F in plus F out, you will get some cases, F in minus F out, you will get some cases. Both are comes under the phase detecting errors. Both are comes under the phase detecting errors. There, if the phase detector is zero, if the phase detector output is zero, there is no problem at all. There is no problem at all. Directly we can send to the our amplifier, that the signal can be directly sent to the output. There we have a threshold signal. There we can compare the input with the output, and then we will get the output. But if it is any error, means this low pass filter can be used to reduce that error. What happened? Right. Here you can see. So an active low pass filter produce a DC voltage at its output after eliminating the high frequency components present in the output of the phase detector, right? So basically what will be happen means, here the input of the low pass filter is two things, that is whether it may be F in plus F out, or whether it may be F in or F out, nothing but we have two different frequencies, that is a high frequency and a low frequency, or in some cases you can consider that is upper sideband and lower sideband. If the both the frequencies can be added together, or sum of the both frequencies, you will get the upper sideband, or differentiation of the two frequencies, you will get the lower sideband. But now coming to the active low pass filter, it produces a DC voltage at its output after eliminating a high frequency component. Basically, it can eliminate the carrier component which is from the output of the phase detector. Okay, it can eliminate that carrier component, and it can use the pure message signal peak values. Okay, and then that can be given to the amplifier to amplify our signal. After amplifying, what will be happen means a VCO produces a signal having a certain frequency when there is no input applied to it. Okay, and this frequency can be shifted either side by applying DAC voltage, that is nothing but plus or minus, and then that can be given to the phase detector to identify the phase difference in between input and output. Okay, right? Here it is produce the frequency deviation. It produce frequency deviations, and then it can pass through the low pass filter. So now coming to the operation modes, this is the very important. Here we can just mention that phase detector, it produce plus or minus signal, as is F in plus F out, or F in minus F out, you will write here, no issue. Or else you can write error E of t is equal to plus or minus of the F in and F out, and then that can be given to the low pass filter. It can eliminate the carrier signal. Here you will get the either FM signal, positive or negative signals, and then the signal can be amplified, and then you will get the output. Sorry for the disturbance. So now coming to the demodulation of FM wave by using PLL, that is nothing but PLL operating mode. Now we are there operating modes. So basically we have three different modes of operation in PLL. Three different modes of operations in PLL. Now let us see one by one. The first one is the free running mode. Free running mode. So what is happen? What will be happen in the free running mode means, here you can see the free running mode operation. So initially PLL operates in free running mode. So first of all, without any input, that in nothing but there is no input at all. There is no FM input. Basically, whatever the previous accumulated data we have that can be given here, and the output is 0. So in that condition, here you can see initially PLL operates in pre-running mode. PLL operates in pre-running mode when no input is applied to it. When there is no input is applied to it. When an input signal having some frequency is applied to the PLL. The first case is pre-running mode. Pre-running mode means there is no input, there is no output. Is it clear? There is no input, there is no output, and whatever the previous data we have, the data can be applied at the output. Or in some other words, there is no input, there is no output in pre-running mode. And now coming to the second case, that is some amount of input can be given. Okay, some amount of input signal, that is some FM signal can be applied to the PLL, then the output signal frequency of VCO will start change. Okay, the voltage in the VCO starts changing during the time of input signal can be applied here. So basically, what is our requirement? Requirement means at this particular point, or the phase detector output is 0. If the phase detector output is 0, then only we will get the perfect demodulated output. So what will be happen inside this means? So there is no input, there is no output. If the FM signal input is given here, and here you will get some output, that output also can be given here. So if the input starts giving to the phase detector, the VCO output also starts the changes at the output. Okay, the output of the VCO also can be changed. And now coming to the third point, that is if the VCO output, that is voltage control oscillator output can be changed, means that is comes under the capture mode. That is capture mode. So first of all, free running mode means there is no input at all, and the capture mode means some amount of input signal can be applied to the PLL. VCO starts changing the output value, and there will be considered it will be considered as capture mode. And now coming to the third point, the output signal frequency of VCO will change continuously until it is equal to the input signal frequency. This is very, very, very important. So during the time of pre-running mode, there is no error. During the capture mode, we have some error. During the capture mode, we have some error at the phase detector. So just what we have to do means we are doing to compare, or we are doing the comparisons of the phases of the both input and output signals. So if the both input and output signals are both equal, means there is no phase error. So up to that particular time, we need to change the input signal randomly. So first case, pre-running mode. Second case, capture mode. In the capture mode, we have certain amount of input signal and certain amount of VCO output. That is nothing but VCO will start change the output. And the third one is the output signal frequency of VCO changes continuously until it's equal to the input frequency. That is very, very important. So both the frequencies and phase are equal, then the phase detection error is 0. In that particular case, we will get the exact output value, and that can be denoted as lock range or lock mode. Pre-running mode, capture mode, and lock mode. So at the time of lock mode, what will be happen means phase error is 0, and both input and output signals are equal. Okay, so this is about the FM demodulation by using PLL. Okay, now let us go for the comparisons of FM and AM, FM and PM, and then we have FM and AM signal comparison. Okay, right? Here I can see, here I have mentioned some certain basic points. So this is the one of the topic. So that is our last topic in the syllabus is comparison of FM with AM. So first of all, we can go for the comparison with the PM and FM, and then we'll go for the comparison of AM with FM signal. So as we have already known, so in this case, the both equations are the same, but only the one thing that is here we have KF, that is amplitude sensitivity factor, or frequency sensitivity factor. Here we have KP, that is phase sensitivity factor we have. So remaining all the equations are same. And the frequency deviation is proportional to the modulating voltage. Delta F frequency deviation is delta F is proportional to the M of T always. And here phase deviation is proportional to the modulating voltage M of T. And here you can see the third point, that is it in FM it is associated with the change in FC. There is some phase change. So in the FM also there is a chance of occurrence of little bit phase changes. And here you can see in the PM it can be associated with the changes in the phase. Changes in the phase. There is some changes in the FC. If the FC will be changes means somewhat of phase change. Okay, nothing bad. So if the FC, that is carrier frequency changes means phase can be changed. Here you can see in FM also carrier frequency is changes means some frequency is changed, or in some cases we can denote it as phase change. And MF or nothing but MF or KF, MP or KP. MF is nothing but model frequency sensitivity factor. KF is proportional to the modulating voltage as well as the modulating frequency FM. Okay, if it is proportional to the M of T means M of T having the FM frequency, modulating frequency as a FM. Okay, here also same thing. MP is proportional to only to the modulating voltage. Just remember this word. Here it is proportional to the modulating voltage only. Here it is proportional to the modulating voltage only. But here in FM, it can proportional to the modulating voltage as well as modulating frequency. And in FM, it is possible to receive FM on a PM receiver. Yes, you can perform the FM by using PM, or we can perform the PM by using FM. It is possible because there is a relation. We have already seen that construction of PM by using FM, FM by using PM. So simply by integrate and you can give to the PM, we will get FM. By differentiating and you can give to the FM, you will get the PM signal. And here the sixth point, that in FM, the noise immunity is better than the AM and PM signals. Here in PM, the noise immunity is better than the AM, but worse than the FM. And here the second point, that is seventh point, amplitude of the FM wave is constant. Here also amplitude of the PM wave is constant because only one parameter can be changed at a time. And now coming to the eighth point, that is signal to noise ratio is better than the PM. And here it is signal to noise ratio is inferior to that in FM. Little. And here in the next point in FM is widely used and PM is used in some mobile systems only. And the 10th point, in FM, the frequency deviation is proportional to the modulating voltage only. And here in PM, the frequency deviation is proportional to the both modulating voltage and modulating frequencies in some cases, certain cases. Okay, not in all cases, certain cases only. So this is about the comparison of FM and PM waves. Now let us see the very important point, that is the comparison between FM and AM signals. FM and AM signals. So here you can see the parameter is the origin. That is first AM method of audio. AM is a method of audio transmission. First successfully carried out in the mid of 18 to 70s. So, and here it is in FM. That is 19 to 1930s. We will start with the 1930s by using Armstrong method. And here modulating difference, you can see the parameter as a modulating difference. So the carrier, with respect to the carrier, the amplitude can be changed. With respect to carrier, the amplitude can be changes. And here in the FM signal, that is the carrier wave is modulated in the frequency by the signal that is to be transmitted. That is in terms of frequency with respect to the carrier can be done in the FM signal. In terms of amplitude with respect to the carrier can be done in the AM. And here we can see the importance. It is used in both analog and digital communications and the telemetry communications in the AM signal. It can be used. And here you can see the FM signal. It is used in both analog and digital communications and telemetry. Both are having the similar importance. And the frequency ranges, yes, this is very important. This is very important aspect. That is the frequency range. Yes. Now coming to the frequency range, that is AM radio ranges from 555 to 1705 kilohertz or up to 1200 bits per second. But in the FM signal, FM radio ranges is higher than the spectrum, that is from 88 to 108 megahertz. Here we have only 1705 kilohertz, but here 108 megahertz, and here we have only 1200 bits per second, but here it is double, that is 2400 bits per second, from 1200 to 2400 bits per second. And now coming to one more thing, that is FM receivers are immune to noise, but here AM receivers are not immune to noise. And in FM, it is possible to decrease the noise by increasing the deviation factor, but here in AM, there is no such type of facility. If you can change the amplitude sensitivity factor, means the amplitude of the modulated signal is, which will be become to zero. That's why there is no such type of facility in the AM signal. But here in FM, based upon the frequency sensitivity, our frequency can be changed. That way the facility can be possible here. Okay, and here bandwidth is higher and depends upon the modulation index in FM, and here bandwidth is lower compared to the compared to FM, but independent of modulation index. Okay, and here FM transmission and reception equipments are more complex in FM, but here less complex when compared to the AM. Okay, right? So a little bit checks are there, ignore it, no problem. And here all transmitted power is useful, but here carrier power and one sideband power is useless in some type of, nothing but some other categories of AM signals. Okay. Right. So this is about the comparison of AM and AM and the FM with the AM signal. Okay. Now let us see our syllabus once. I'll show you the syllabus. So is there any remaining parts are there to discuss? 1 second. Yes. Okay. So basic concept is over single tone frequency modulation spectrum analysis is done, narrowband, wideband is done, and constant average power also can be done. Transmission bandwidth is discussed, and generation direct method and the detection FM is balance frequency discrimination. Zero crossing detector is there, phase lock to phase comparison of FM is discussed. Okay, right. Right. So yeah, now I have already sent the notes to yours here. Please collect the notes from her, and the PPT is also please send. Now onwards we will discuss about the question bank. Else we can discuss with the part C questions. Right now I have some part C questions. Or else I will recall the all the syllabus, and then we will discuss the part C questions in the next class. For all the three units. Yeah. I want to share the question bank. All of you, one thing you remember. So we will give the information regarding to the tech talks very soon. So based upon the information, you need to present your tech talks to online mode. Okay. The detailed schedule will be given today or tomorrow itself. Yes. Okay. So now let us see the important questions regarding to the chapter 3. So explain how frequency modulation can be done, can be generated from phase modulation and vice versa. Yes. So in this question, what they are indirectly asking me is to generate frequency modulation by using phase modulation. Okay, right? So you have to give m of t, then we have to give to the integrator, and then we have the integrated signal can be given to the phase modulator, and then we will get the FM as output. Next, derive an expression for the single tone frequency modulated wave. So we have already discussed about what is the frequency spectrum for the single tone, and describe generation of narrowband FM signal. Discuss if the modulation index beta is less than 1. Okay, then it comes from to the narrowband FM. If it is greater than 1, it is comes from to the wider band FM. Next, explore the terms instantaneous frequency derivation, deviation, and mention the applications of angular modulation. So, in the basic concept, I have discussed about the instantaneous frequency 1 by 2 delta into that is the output. Okay, so 2 delta by delta t plus t value, that is we have already discussed in the basic concept. During the time interval t to delta t, we will get the instantaneous frequency very clear. Okay, 1 by 2 delta into 1 by 2 theta into delta t plus t. Okay, just go through it, we will get the instantaneous frequency formula. And compare phasor diagram of narrowband FM signal and AM signal. Yes, we have already discussed about the phasor diagram. So what will be happen in the phasor diagram of FM and AM? So if it is FM means the phasor diagram is like this. It means the frequency can be changed. Okay, based upon the carrier signal, frequency can be changed upper sideband or lower sideband. And if it is the AM signal means frequency can be changed like this. Amplitude variation, you can observe the amplitude variation. That is nothing but maximum and minimum pixel. That is nothing but a positive and a negative. In terms of amplitudes, you will get the phase of the AM signal. In terms of frequency, you will get the phase of the FM signal. Now next sixth question is explain the direct method for generation of frequency modulation with necessary circuit diagrams. That is nothing but the direct method generation, and that is nothing but Armstrong method we have. We'll go through it. And compare narrowband frequency modulation with the wideband frequency modulation. We have a comparison table is there. Okay, and what is the formula and what is the modulation factor and what are the other parameters we have. We'll go through it. Now next one is derive frequency deviation for phase modulated wave and compare with the FM wave. Frequency deviation for phase modulated wave. I think we can't discuss with this. Have a doubt. Okay. Expression for single tone narrowband frequency modulation. You can go through the narrowband directly now. Should okay, in every concept we will consider only single tone in the FM because we have infinite number of side lobes are there. That's why we have the calculation part can be done for the single tone artists. Compare frequency modulation with amplitude modulation. Just now we discussed, and I explained balanced slope detection for detecting FM signal is there, and explain wideband FM generation or Armstrong method or indirect method using. Okay. Next here we have explained the varactor diode method. FM generation using new circuit varactor diode method. I think it is not covered. Okay, I'll go to the notes after discussion this varactor diode method. It is in direct method, I think, yes. Varactor diode method means it is in the direct method. Yes, direct method. In direct method we discuss, direct method we discuss. So this question comes under the direct method. And discuss the operation of phase discrimination using phasor diagrams. Fine. Summarize the ratio of detector of FM demodulation. Also mention the application. Ratio detectors. Ratio detectors. Frequency discrimination is there. Yes, ratio detector means frequency discriminator we can discuss. Okay, and frequency discriminator. For this question, we have frequency discriminator. And the next one is FM and TM waves define modulation index, minimum deviation, and bandwidth. Yes, it is covered. And discuss the operation of phase lock loop for the FM demodulation. Yes, it is also discussed. Discuss the performance and comparison of all frequency modulators. Yes, yeah, all frequency modulators means direct and indirect comparison or wideband, narrowband. Yeah, direct and indirect methods most of the cases. And zero crossing detector can be done. Different demolition techniques of FM questions can be repeated. Okay, so this is about module 3. So next we will start the module 4. So if the timetable is continuation means as of my knowledge, as per my knowledge, the midterm exams that is CAE 1 can be conducted from first onwards, I think so. So if it is continued same schedule means fine. We will discuss the part C questions in our next class. And some I will give some important questions. Yes, if it is there means I will share now. One second. Important questions. Yes. Yes. Here I have unit-wise important questions. I have mentioned some important questions in another communication. So you can go through these questions if it is possible for each and every unit around 6 to 7 questions I have mentioned. So you can go through this. And part C also I will explain with the solutions in our next class. We will discuss some few questions. Okay. So if you want to discuss means I will show you the important questions right now. We have 10 minutes more, no problem. See, you can see unit wise long questions. You know, I have a short answer question with answers also. Short questions with answers also. I will share that document also. You can go through it. Okay. So we go directly to third unit. So is there any see all the questions covered under 10 marks weightage. See, you can see discuss the detection of FMO using zero crossing just now we discussed. And now explain how FM signal is detected with the help of PLL. Okay, these are all the questions can be framed by myself only. Okay, and based upon thoroughly verifying the previous question papers, I have designed some important question patterns, some important questions here. You can see explain the detection of FM using generally. See, they are mainly concentrated on the demodulation in the frequency modulation. Okay, this is very important. That's why I have already told you that. Okay, and I will show you the practical analysis video. Yeah, I forget to show you the practical analysis video regarding to the zero crossing detector and PLLS. If you have time means I will show in the next class. Next, derive the expression for FM signal from fundamentals and differentiate narrowband FM with the wideband FM. Okay, FM signal expression means in the basic concepts we have derivation. Discuss the generation of FM using direct method is there. And here you can see the spectrum. So here they mentioned single tone modulation. They are not asking about the yes. Is it clear now? Is it clear now? Okay, fine. Due to network issue, you can see the last question. So here they are asking derive the expression for the spectrum of FM signal with a single tone modulation. Clearly they are mentioning single tone modulation, one complete cycle positive and a negative for one upper and one lower sideband with the carrier. You need to derive the expression. Okay, if it is infinite number of lobes means by using Bessel's function you need to draw that spectrum. Okay, and here you can see the pre-emphasis and de-emphasis. Yes, sorry, it is not there in our syllabus. As per our new syllabus, this question is not there. Okay, and yeah, okay, we have time. We'll discuss second unit also now. Draw the block diagram of the generation and demodulation of VSB signal and explain the principle of operation. Okay, we discussed this is VSB generation and various method to generate SSB signal and what is the need of VSB modulation. And the third one is evaluate the envelope of instantaneous frequency of SSB wave for the following two cases. Here you can see. So we have one generation method. So to generate upper sideband, to generate lower sideband, we discussed there. VSBAC generation only for the upper sideband, only for the lower sideband, we discussed there with some sort of modulator inputs change. So in the first case, it is for upper sideband. It is for upper sideband means we have two different modulators, and the first modulator can have two inputs, that is direct M of t and phase shifted C of t. Okay, direct M of t, phase shifted C of t, and the second modulator we have, that is phase shifted M of t. Sorry, direct M of t and phase shifted C of t. Sorry, yes. So little bit change. If you want to perform, upper sideband is transmitted only for upper sideband and only for the lower sideband. Two different cases are there. We have already discussed that derivation part also. Okay, you can go through that derivation. And next question you can see, describe the VSB in time domain and explain any one method to generating VSBC. Okay, and next give the applications of AMFC. Here you can see AMFC full carrier means AM. Okay, and AM and VSB modulation schemes application they're asking. And with the need diagram, explain about VSB modulation system and explain its application. Describe the SSB in frequency domain representation. As we have already discussed, that is important questions are frequency and time domain representations are very, very important in all three chapters. Okay. So this is about the second chapter important questions. So first chapter means all basic questions we have. Okay. So what is the concept of amplitude modulation, coherent detection, and we have balanced modulator and a ringer modulator. Now we have switching modulator, and here you can see the fifth question that is important, very, very important. Explain the envelope detector and derive the relationship between the output power of AM transmission and the depth of modulation. Percentage of modulation or depth of modulation, right? So I will share this document that is unit-wise important long questions, and we have short answers also with there. I will share that document also. Okay, we'll go through it. You will get the knowledge. So we have mentioned for all units. I have mentioned some short answer questions. Okay, we'll go through all these questions. Right. So for our mid exam, can go to up to 30 units. That is modulation index, up to modulation index we have. Okay, from here onwards, that is from 34th question onwards, we have chapter 4, module 4. So if it is only for 2.5 means, you can see the syllabus once. So up to power transmission, power calculation, that is nothing but transmission power of the FM signal. Up to there we have transmission power or bandwidth calculation. Up to there we have, we don't have a direct and indirect method, I think so. Yes, I will show one thing. Yes, up to transmission bandwidth of FM wave. Okay, and generation of FM wave, that is nothing but direct method and indirect method, and the demodulation parts are not there. Only up to wideband and narrowband and the generation methods. Sorry, and the calculation, that is nothing but we have constant average power is there, transmission bandwidth is there. Okay, and spectrum analysis there, spectrum analysis is there, and some basic important concept, that is a basic concept, that is to calculate the instantaneous frequency is there, and a basic frequency and phase model. Around the five questions are there for the internal exam from the third chapter. Okay, so if you are good in all the topics means, you can prepare all remaining topics, that is generation of direct and indirect methods, or three different types of demodulation methods. Okay, and next we have okay, right. So this is about today class, and the next session we will discuss the part C questions. We will discuss part C solutions. Okay, unit wise part C we will discuss in our next session, right? So please, all of you, please go through the notes and PPTs which I have already shared with you over here. Go through that notes. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, right? Thank you.